1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Okay, and you are not a process server, correct?
No.
Okay. And are both copies or?
I would like to stamp both copies, yes.
She's going to keep one. Keep one stamping. We have one stamped and we'll retain it, please. Thank you.
Okay,
Get a conformed copy. They're both the same.
No, they're separate documents.
But they're both the same. They're separate?
Separate documents. We have copies of the originals, so we're just giving you copies for your benefit.
Okay, so if I make a copy of the first page and stamp it, will that be okay?
That'd be great.
Perfect.
On both documents. First
Yes,
page
ma'am.
on both documents.
Thank you.
So we have evidence of service. So notice to principals, notice to agent. Notice to agent is notice to principal.
Oh, you can't talk about
You
it.
know you're personally liable.
You got to go to Switzerland.
You'll be served next week or next time.
Once you guys are
Everyone
served and you
standing
have
here
to
is
put on
personally
notice of
liable.
what's going on, then you need to make a hard decision.
You have to make a hard decision.
You know, my dad was a deputy sheriff, and it ruined our family. The police academy is a 6-month training program. It's an MK Ultra extension program, and you guys are taught to not ask questions and to just follow orders, and that's not okay. We can't have that kind of world anymore. So
You have guns turned on its own.
The Constitution. Yeah, it just got served. What's the next step?
So we just served those papers. What is the next step here?
Yeah, so that's one of 3. So step 1 is notifying them of their personal liability, and every single person in this room is personally liable because they are currently protecting a foreign insurgency. You guys might not realize this, but this is a foreign invasion. This is treason, okay? Whoever is paying your paycheck right now is a foreign corporation. They are not our government. They're masquerading as government. So every single person here will be served in the next meeting, okay? I want you guys to know this because I don't want anyone to get in trouble. I don't want anyone to end up and get my...
Are they also working for a corporation?
They're all working for a corporation. Every person here who has guns pointed against we the people is an act of foreign insurrection. Because none of these people have ever signed an oath of office to us. They are not legitimate. And if you guys want to look at the paper that we sent here today, we went ahead and we did a forensics report on all of the people that are currently signing oaths of office. They've never signed an oath of office to us. They've signed an oath of office to a foreign corporation. Okay, so this is an act of war. We have people coming over our borders. We are not safe here. They are not putting out a public broadcast to notify everyone of the dangers of the vaccines. We have informed them of all this information now, so now they can write their action. We're walking in sacred lines.
Yes, yes. Yes, because that's very important. Do you know why you take an oath of office?
Ma'am, we're not here to answer any questions. We're just here to preserve the peace.
Well, you work for...
We're putting you on notice.
You work for the Sheriff's Department, correct?
Yes.
Do you know what the position of sheriff is?
We know it well, ma'am.
Well, could you answer that question?
I'm not here to answer any questions, and neither are
Well,
my
if
deputies.
you took an oath
We're here to
of...
preserve the peace, and that's it.
Right, okay. So if you took an oath of office, it's because you took that oath of office to a constitution. And the reason the constitution was put in place is to protect the people's rights, okay? That's a contract with the people, that you will protect the people from any foreign or domestic enemies, okay? That's why you took the oath of office, which is so critical. It's a sacred document which makes America a very special country. I come originally from a different country, okay? I experienced communism. And it's very important for you to know that when you take that oath of office, that I swear, right, who you are swearing to, that you are actually swearing to the people, not some politicians, okay, that are using you
Or the banks.
to actually
The banks.
violate the people's rights. So it's very important that you take it to your heart, because when you go back home, you want to protect America, correct? You don't want America to become another communist country. Venezuela, I come from Czechoslovakia. I can tell you all about communism, okay? So this is why the oath of office is so, so critical, that every day, every moment you take the uniform on, the badge, the gun, that you are protecting the people's rights, okay? Not some statutes, codes.
Statutory law and codes. Statutory law, laws created and passed by legislative bodies, such as Congress or state legislatures. Examples include the Civil Rights Act and state traffic laws. Codes, organized collections of statutes grouped by subject matter, making laws easier to find and understand, such as the United States Code, USC. Why sovereign citizens dislike them. Sovereign citizens, SovCits, believe that statutory laws and codes are illegitimate and infringe on their personal freedoms. They often claim that these laws do not apply to them unless they consent to them, preferring to follow their interpretation of common law or natural law instead. This rejection stems from a broader anti-government ideology and a belief in personal sovereignty over state authority.
Created by a corporation, okay? And this is something probably just mind-blowing to you, probably never heard it before. But when you go home today, or when you go to your desk, please look up 28 USC. USC stands for United States Code, Section 3002.
Title 28 USC, Part 3002. This section deals with definitions within the context of the federal judiciary and procedures for collecting debts owed to the United States. Specifically, 28 USC, Part 3002, Chart 15. This is a section often misinterpreted by sovereign citizens. It provides definitions for terms used in Chapter 176, which deals with federal debt collection dock procedures. The term United States is defined within this context. Why sovereign citizens reference it? Sovereign citizens often misconstrue legal definitions and terms to support their beliefs. They might interpret definitions out of context to claim that the United States is a corporation, which aligns with their broader anti-government ideology. In reality, the definitions provided in 28 USC Part 3002 are intended for the purposes of debt collection and legal processes, not to assert that the government is a corporation in the sense sovereign citizens claim.
Paragraph 15A. You know what that will tell you? Is that United States is a federal corporation. You work for the United States, correct? Right? How can United States be a corporation? And then when you do further study, you will find out that this United States is located in District of Columbia through UCC Article 9307.
UCC Article 9307 deals with determining the location of the debtor in secured transactions, which is critical for filing and perfecting security interests. It sets guidelines for identifying where individuals, organizations, and registered entities are considered located for legal purposes. Sovereign citizens might misuse UCC Article 9307 to challenge government authority or legal processes. They may claim that understanding the precise legal location of AE.debtor allows them to dispute jurisdiction or other legal obligations. However, such interpretations are generally not supported by legitimate legal principles.
The United States is located in District of Columbia through UCC Article 9307. Well, are we in District of Columbia right now?
No.
So,
For the record.
if we are not in District of Columbia, where are we? Well, I know that I am on the land of Arizona, right? Arizona State, a republic, the constitutional republic that was created for us, the people. So what is this United States business, this federal corporation located in District of Columbia? You know what it is? It's an overlay, okay? That's an overlay they've created. And they also mirrored the organic constitution into a corporate constitution, okay? And this is really, really rude awakening to realize that we've been invaded, meaning America has been invaded by foreign entities. And that's what these people are representing today. To wake people up to realize that we all want to live in freedom. We want to have freedom to live, to take care of our families, and to exercise our God-given rights. We don't need another man to give us some permission to buy a land and to raise our children and create a happy life. That's what I came to America for, but it seems like it doesn't exist here anymore. And it's very important that you take it to your heart and really decide, who do you want to serve? Who are you serving? So when these politicians, who don't realize either, they've been also bamboozled and indoctrinated. Yeah, come here and serve, take the seat, okay? But it's a foreign corporation, and the law tells you that's their own law they've created, because everything has to be done in transparency.
And they worship the devil, too, by the way. They worship the devil.
And so the way how you know is I call when the COVID-19 came, it was actually a blessing because it showed you. I don't know about you here and what kind of codes you were supposed to enforce, but have you ever been enforcing, you know, the mask that people have to wear a mask? I don't know if you had to wear a mask, you know. That was showing to you that this is not right, okay? That another corporation, you know, the CDC or the health organization can dictate what people do with their own bodies. So I hope that this is a little awakening, little education, and that you really realize that, you know, I either serve a corporation or I serve the people. And the people are your brothers and sisters. You know, these people are same people like you. You just put on uniform, and so when you put on the uniform, it's an honor. It's a sacred honor to uphold the rights of the people, the Constitution, that are secured through the Constitution. So I just wanted to let you know what true sheriff does and who the sheriff really serves. So thank you.
There's something really important that Mickey's got to say, because you guys are going to be getting this document pretty soon. You're going to have to make a decision.
Well, unfortunately, we've done a forensics report, you guys, and the people that you're currently collecting a paycheck from, currently at this point in time, are asking you to commit acts of treason by protecting a foreign insurgency. So we're going to be serving each and every one of you with personal liability, because we are each personally liable for our actions under the common law. So personally, you guys are each liable for probably around $200,000 to $500,000 per person that serves you a document. And we're just giving you an opportunity to cure, okay? So we'll give you eight days to either basically resign and come work for us, come work for the du jour, because I have a feeling you probably signed an oath of office thinking you were signing an oath of office to the original republic for which our fathers stand.
The founders of the United States emphasized the importance of protecting against enemies, both foreign and domestic, in their writings and in the Constitution. They believed it was essential for the government to maintain national security and ensure the safety of its citizens from threats originating both within and outside the country. This principle is reflected in provisions granting powers to Congress and the President to defend against aggression, maintain order, and uphold the Constitution against all challenges, whether from external forces or internal insurrection.
Our forefathers stand. And one nation, under God, Constitution. We would love to have you come work for us.
How do we know the value of your gold and silver that you're
We can check the spot price right now online. It's very easy. It's in between $25 and $35 right now.
Real money.
Real money.
Real money.
That's what we deal in.
They call it a Hippocratic Oath for a reason.
Go ahead.
Well, so what I think it's important to note is that just about every county right now is trying to steal your land. Not just trying, they did. And they usually do it through tacit, non-consensual agreements. So when you signed or you registered to vote here, when you signed a marriage certificate, when you signed your children into the hospital, when you signed their birth certificate, when you signed your driver's license, all of these things are scams to not only steal everything that you own, your entire estate, your children, and your land. Now, the way that they've actually stolen the land is quite fascinating. They just created an overlay of zip codes, then they claim them. But the thing about it is they can't claim your land. Land can only be passed from one sovereign to the next. It cannot be passed to a foreign corporation. So what they're doing is they're claiming your land because you haven't, and that way when you die, they can take it from your heirs. So that's why we need to get a little smarter about operating in the private.
Operating in the private is a phrase often used by sovereign citizens and others who subscribe to similar ideologies. They typically argue that they can opt out of governmental jurisdiction or obligations by conducting their affairs in a private capacity, separate from what they perceive as the public or governmental realm. This belief is not legally recognized and can lead to misunderstandings or legal challenges.
Setting up our own private trust and claiming our land. It's like far and away. All you need is a bunch of little, white flags and some posts so you can get your meets and bounds, and then you can claim your land, and therefore you can then pass it on to your heirs. So one of the things we're doing immediately for operational restoration is we're setting up a PMA, a social compact, where we're providing refuge for people that want to come back and get their land back from the county. We're talking 4.5 million people in Maricopa County, of which they have every single person, this right here, this Maricopa County Assessors office.
Which
No
means
one
no
in it.
one's here working.
No one's even here
All these-
working.
today's
They've
March
already
13th.
stolen your land, and they're just banking on the fact that you're going to die and not
Running
running
around
around.
in the
So
crazy.
if I may, the way how it's done. So you have a land, you have a physical land that can be only described in physical metes and bounds. And when you go to purchase a property, let's actually wait for the gentleman to hear this too, because this is very important. I'm hoping
Check
that
it.
they
All the
have
security is now
You got
that
cops
they
rolling in.
God forbid
they
don't happen
that they
in
have
Congress.
They're there. So,
Hey.
so when you go to purchase a property, you have a realtor, right? And they show you the actual land. They show you the front yard, they show you the backyard, they show you the house. You walk through the house, right? You love the barbecue and say, yeah, I want this house. Okay, then they shove you through this escrow process. And in that moment, what they've done, they taken the description of the land and they took you into a fiction. Okay, and the way how they do it, as Mickey was saying, through the assessor. So when our country was invaded, they created this federal territory overlay on top of the land. So the actual land is described in the metes and bounds, which is done through the surveyors, licensed surveyors map. So you have one map that's describing the actual land in the metes and bounds. It basically tells you from this pipe to this pipe, there is so much, feet, then you have to go at that degree to the next pipe, and that's how you describe the
Legal
actual,
description.
No, lawful description.
The
There's a
metes and
difference
bounds.
between that. So
Legal.
lawful
Legal
description.
fiction.
The legal description is that when they take it at the end of escrow into the fiction, and that's the assessor's map. And they did it so they can assess the property taxes, because you cannot tax private land, but you can tax an estate, and that's how they do it. That they take the surveyor's map, they create another map through the assessor's office called the assessor's map.
Yep.
And now this land is no longer described in the physical metes and bounds, but it's described through a legal description, through a new map that was created
APN.
in order for them to take you in the, I call it the legal la la land, okay, into the fiction. And you think you are buying a property, but no, you are actually buying an interest on their parcel. And the way how you know is just read your deed. In your deed, it will tell you that you are a tenant. How can you own a property and be a tenant? And how come if you paid all your property, if you paid for the house that you own, how come, let's say you get a disease and something bad happens to you and you can no longer afford to pay the property taxes, that the county can come and steal your house that it's paid for? How is that done? This is how it's done.
It's all done for fraud.
And people don't even realize that actually they are not foreclosing on the actual land, but they are foreclosing on a fiction, on APN number, which doesn't exist. It only exists as a creation of the mind. Okay? So the solution is people need to wake up and they need to make claim to the land that's actually sitting abundant.
It's abundant.
It's
everywhere.
abundant.
It's abundant. This is how you win every war, is the land. They knew that. They knew they had to con us out of our land and keep us poor, and keep us poor generation to generation to generation, so that they could basically just steal our country.
Enslave us.
It's
We're
a
slaves.
We are slaves, and we are all
And what's-
slaves.
The word mortgage comes from the root word mort, which is mortician, and gauge, which is wish. So a mortgage is a 30-year sentence with
It's
interest.
a death pledge.
It's
It's a death pledge.
Mortgage.
And they've
A mortgage
drawn
is a
money
death
from your
pledge.
trust to pay for it. So there's no proof that the bank even funded it in the first place.
And they didn't.
Because there's no money. There's no money. Money
There's-
was taken away through the Emergency Banking Act in 1933. So if there is no money, they couldn't just take the money. They had to create a system. It's basically the credit system through the trust. You can only discharge, set off, or terminate the debt if you have no way to pay for anything. So what I like to really stress out to people is, if you look at all the foreclosures where people's lives were ruined, where families were ruined, people committed suicide for nothing. Okay, for nothing, because they left a land that they settled on. This is the American dream, that you can own a land, you can nurture the land, you can live from the land, and then you pass it to your heirs. Okay, this is the American dream that so many brave men put their life to, and we just gave it away. So this is really the call to people. You need to claim the land that you settled on. You are the settler.
Claimed mine. Woo!
And then, you basically have to notice the county, hey, listen, I'm no longer participating in this federal territory overlay, and I actually would like to invite you, come and locate the APN number, come and locate your number on my property, because I think it's trespassing on my property. And of course, they won't be able to, right? So we can return the APN number to them, right? And once you return the APN number, it's no longer on your property. And should the APN number come back to your property, well, now it's subjected to $5,000 per day.
A mortgage APN, assessor's parcel number, is a unique identifier assigned to a particular parcel of real estate by the local government's assessor's office. It helps distinguish one property from another for tax assessment, ownership records, and legal purposes. Sovereign citizens may sometimes misuse or misunderstand APNs in their legal arguments. They might erroneously believe that by referencing an APN or asserting ownership through it, they can challenge the validity of mortgage agreements or assert rights over property. However, APNs primarily serve administrative and legal purposes related to property identification and taxation, and do not confer ownership rights or invalidate legal obligations such as mortgages.
Paper person, trespass fee.
Now, what you guys don't know about Lenka is that she is a de jure sheriff. She is a de jure sheriff of Southern California, and she's brave.
It means that basically, as I was explaining to the corporate sheriffs down the hall here, is that they work for corporation. Okay? So when people unslave from the corporation and they claim their rights and who they are, they declare the correct status that you are one of the people, which is the authority. Well, then you can appoint and elect your own sheriffs of the people, right? So that's the de jure sheriff, of the people, for the people, by the people. And to me, it just happened because I guess when the scamdemic rolled in and moms and dads were being arrested for having to wear muzzles to feed their families, no one was standing up for them. And so I was basically teaching people how to exercise your right, how to actually have your public servants to serve you, not the other way around. And so that's how I took this.
Can you imagine if every de jure sheriff acted the same? And how do we the people have to stop putting loyalty and or authority to anyone who hasn't signed an oath of office to us. When you sign an oath of office to us and you're working for us, it is night and day. It's night and day.
And I can actually show anyone my oath of office, that's legitimate, and it's an honor to have it, and I'm just here to serve. I don't get paid. So this is all volunteering because I love freedom and I love America, and that's what I can do.
Is that California? We don't have freedom. We don't have
California Republic, that's correct.
Sovereign citizens, SovCits, often refer to states as republics because they believe in a concept where each state operates independently and sovereignly, akin to a republic form of government. They reject the authority of the federal government and assert that states should have greater autonomy and control over their own affairs, aligning with their broader ideological beliefs about sovereignty and governance.
I'm just here to serve. I don't get paid. So this is all volunteering because I love freedom and I love America, and that's what I can do.
Is that California Republic? We don't have
California Republic, that's correct. Yeah, California Republic, which once again, all these seats are sitting vacant, okay? And people just have to populate these offices, turn the light on, and start self-governing.
So let's simplify that. You have two governments. You have a de facto and a de jure. The de jure will never fail because it's set up by the forefathers, okay? De jure is a republic. It will never fail for lack of a trustee. We just have to seed it. Guys, stop watching the fake, phony, false, fake news, fake government, fake everything, and start watching the real stuff. This is the real news. This is what real de jure sheriffs do, okay?
Yes.
They work for us. On top of that, I have the land patent for almost all of Maricopa County, as in we pulled the patent, and now everyone can follow the process procedure to simply claim your land and pass it down to your heirs.
Yeah.
So this really is the start of a new. We're out with the old guard and in with the new.
Now it's about time. About time.
Yeah,
Thanks,
yeah.
you guys.
Thank you so much. Woo!
By the way, APN, assessor's parcel number.
At assessor's parcel fiction, which is fiction.
It's not Chase parcel number, it's not Lincoln's parcel number, it's their parcel.
So crazy. Empty. Empty.
I have my oath of office. I have actually I have my expired badge. I need to get the new badge. Yeah, it's my service.
Cool. I met you at I see you a couple times. I think the first one was
It's so funny we accidentally came out on this floor. I know. It was such a great office to see there's nobody in there. What is going on?
Yeah, now I've been
elevators. Can you guys go in another
Go
one?
on elevators so they don't get stuck this time. These guys want to go with their families.
We have too much weight. One more. One more.
We're just gonna do 2 elevators, one down, one story.
Oh, really?
See you guys down. We're down one more story.
Is it weight issue?